Hey, it's Ian from wickedoutsourcing.com. So, this is a really quick outsourcing guide to the Philippines. I made this video because I want to explain why I'm talking about the Philippines when I'm talking about virtual assistants and why I'm not talking about places like India, Bulgaria, other kind of low-cost economies. So, Philippines, 90 million people live there. It's the world's fourth largest English-speaking nation. That is important because anyone you hire there is going to have great English. English is actually the official language of business and government. When people in the Philippines go to school, they learn English, they talk English. When they go to work, usually they talk English. So English is everywhere. All the road signs are in English. The English is on billboards. Basically, English, English, English. When you hire someone in India or like another kind of Asian country, often English is their very much the second language. They don't speak it at home, and that's fine. But it does kind of come through in like some of the funny turns of phrases they have. You don't get that in the Philippines. The other cool thing about the Philippines, in my opinion, is that the accent is very neutral. They have a neutral English speaking accent. That means that often when you talk to them on the phone, you kind of sometimes think you're talking to an American because they have that mid-Atlantic accent. Filipinos have a brilliant knowledge of Western culture as well. They watch all the same movies you do. They watch all the same TV shows. When you hire like a virtual assistant, you'll really find that you have a lot in common with them. Philippines has really good internet, great infrastructure. The Filipino people are friendly, patient, accommodating. I know that's a bit of a cliche for Westerners to say about, when they're working with Eastern people, when they're working with Asian people, but it's true. Like everyone I've worked with in the Philippines is just so friendly, like has such a positive outlook on life. They really are a joy to work with. So let's look at some pros of the Philippines, like why a lot of people, including myself, choose to hire virtual assistants over there. Number one, it's cheap. Yeah, certainly it's like 10% of the cost of hiring someone in the UK. I think a good salary for someone in the Philippines, it varies, but it's about $350 to $400 a month, which is about £250 per month. That's so affordable. Even if you have like a full-time job on your own, if you're trying to build something on the internet, if you're trying to get it off the ground, a virtual assistant is absolutely a great way to do that. When you hire a virtual assistant, they can pretty much handle anything. There's some things that they do excel at, like research. If you can really break down a task and give it to them in specific step-by-step parts, instructions for them to follow, they'll blow you away with it. If you leave a lot of wiggle room, if you kind of ask them to fill in a lot of the blanks themselves at first, I'll tell you that they're going to struggle with that. You're not going to get back what you expected. So there's some training issues there, but basically you can get your virtual assistant to handle pretty much anything. Filipinos, in my experience, they're really loyal. There's this kind of strange thing in the Philippines of it's not strange, but when they have a foreign employer, they think that elevates them a little bit. Like they're really kind of respectful of employers in general, and especially like Western employers. I know that sounds a bit, colonial, or you might be uncomfortable with the idea of that. And I'm not, obviously that's not why I'm into Filipino outsourcing, but that is one thing to bear in mind. They are very loyal and hardworking. The other thing is it's just rewarding to hire someone, I think. When you're just starting out, you can't afford an employee in the UK, so it's kind of good practice for managing people. Learning to work through someone else is very different to doing it all yourself. And you'll get emails like, I bought my kid a water pistol and here's his new bike, and I'm grateful for the money that you send me. And it's just, you wouldn't get that from someone in the UK. They'd be all like, almost like they're doing you a favour by working for you. But in the Philippines, it's just the other way around. And if you take care of them, it's a really rewarding thing to do, I think. So on the flip side, I would say if you're kind of thinking about hiring a virtual assistant in the Philippines, don't expect miracles. It is an amazing thing, but you have to choosing the right person is important. Training is really, really important. If you just give them a task and don't really explain how to do it, you're not going to get what you think back. And also, there's what I found is if a Filipino can't do the work that you give them, unless you really, really tell them to ask you with any questions, sometimes they'll be a bit too ashamed to admit that they can't do it. Like they might, you might stop hearing from them. I've heard that a few times from different people. If they can't do something, they're ashamed to admit it, and often they kind of just disappear. So good training is really, really important. That's going to be your main job, to train them. The time zone can be a bit of a challenge. It's 8 hours ahead, so you only have like a little window of every day where you can actually talk to them. I mean, that's fine if you set like a daily meeting, daily Skype chat around that time. What some people have done is ask that their Filipino employees like work different hours to them, so they a night shift, so they're always online at the same time. Personally, I don't really like that. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, but I've not asked my employees for that because I kind of like the idea of them working and getting on with my work while I'm asleep. Plus, I want them to have a normal family life. I don't want them up all night working weird hours. It's just not necessary anyway. So those are some things to bear in mind when you're outsourcing. There's loads of different tips I can give you. What you can do is enter your email address at wickedoutsourcing.com. I've got this free little mini course, like a mini series of emails that you can get for free. Put your email address in at wickedoutsourcing.com, and good luck getting started.